As I explained, this is my routine session of study where I'm looking at the market and the handhold for my existing cohort, right? I just had to share with you, since, in one of my latest, um, aim to leave a legacy. So I thought I'd just share this with you. Right, so we're gonna start off British England. We're gonna start off with, just use whatever that I'm using, change. I'm gonna start with DXY. Okay, so DXY is usually what I'll be looking at the market. Okay. All right. So I think that if you do have questions, let me know what pairs that you want to talk about. Just showing you exactly what I'm talking about right now. We are trying the new streaming app. So if this doesn't work well, we replace that. We are testing that. Usually I stream using Zoom. Okay, but I'm streaming at the same time in the Facebook. Okay, so bear with me for a while and let me know whether this is okay. Okay. All right. This is DXY here. Previously, we talked about DXY being bearish. Okay, and then one of the way to look at that was to look at the trend here. So this is trend, right? Then the recent downtrend is given by the lower high here. So this is the high, which is lower than the previous one. And then I have another one more lower high here. Okay. Most important, every time we take a look into the weekly chart, because even though whether you are trading in the lower time frame like 4 or whether you're in a higher time frame, very important is to take a look at the weekly chart because it gives us a really good perspective. Okay. Now, if you what I mentioned earlier and why I think that why into was because that previously, if you look at these two bars here, okay, so this bar and this bar, right? There was a huge down, all right? And then when price closed below, that was the huge down, and then price retraced up toward the distance. Okay, so this is resistance. But what is most important about this resistance is that this resistance had a wash and rinse. Okay, so what is the meaning of wash and rinse here? Take a look at this candle. Let's say label as a starting point, right? And to 1, you find that price closed above the previous. That would be where we are having a bullish movement, okay? But at the same time, if you compare 1 and 2, then price also had a close. 1 had closed above 2 high. So that's also bullish movement. And if you compare 2 and 3, then that also a bullish movement. But the so color goes below all this bullish movement one go. Okay, bullish movement in one go, right? For those with the Zoom link, if you can have it, please go to Zoom. All right, so to hear the session. But for those who are not my community, we are trying out this new app here. Seems that if it's too choppy, then we're just gonna drop this and go back into Zoom. But then we're gonna have the recording, all right? So you can just watch the recording. I'm sorry for that, okay? For the bad experience. So you can see that on the weekly close, there was a huge down bar, okay? A huge down bar, all right? Then when this huge down bar happened, this means that price will have to it is bearish, right? Why is that so? One bar closed below so many weeks of bullishness. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 weeks of bullishness, and then when this happened, right, then price closed below um so many weeks, right? So this 1 week erased the bullish movement of 3 weeks. It's going to be very smooth for the DXY. Hence, I think that the DXY is going to continue to go down. All right, and very important as one thing it might not as this one here. If I were to draw you a horizontal level here like this and like this, okay? So this is how we determine wash and rinse, right? So wash and rinse means that previously the market saw a bit of a support here, right? So there was support and support, support, right? But at this moment, the market also saw a support and it tried to move up. But can I ask all of you, what is happening when these red bar happen? What happened? It means that the support level that the market thought that is gonna happen is right now breaking below. That means this support is no longer true anymore. All right? Okay. So no longer true anymore, which means that the support level here is right now going to reverse to become a resistance. So as long as you can see price hovering around here, which is in the region of 100, like this, or like this, and it get resisted, all right, and it get resisted, then this, it's a clue to further sell EXY, which is to further sell the dollar. Okay, so I say many times, it is not the breaking that's important. You know, what is important is that if price is to retrace back up and price is to retrace back up and it get resisted. So this resistance is the one that is most important. So do watch out for 100. Key level is 100. If price is to get resisted here, that is provide another chance for a resell into the dollar index. So a lot of people ask me, will we see 80-ish for the dollar index? I have actually no idea at this moment. All right, but definitely the dollar index is not looking strong. It's looking weak. Okay, so that's the reason here, all right, why I am for last week bearish on the dollar and why we are looking at euro, for example, euro for continuation of low, and then also I mentioned some of the dollar pairs such as the pound. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through to ask whether you have any questions on the dollar index. If you have, I'm just gonna continue to just briefly talk about the dollar pairs, just a bit of dollar pairs. Any questions? Okay, don't have. That's good. Now, for the dollar pairs, same thing. For us, I will always want to have a look right in the higher time frame, and then to frame my strategy in the lower time frame. So the higher time frame, what it's saying was that there was a bit of a resistance here. So this was the resistance by euro dollar, and then price seems to close below, but in fact, it actually closed back up. So that was what I mentioned yesterday. So this support level here, it's going to be important. We are still long, but the long euro at this moment, that means if you're going long euro at this moment, you are a little bit late because we mentioned going long euro last week. Okay, so let me just go through what was talked about last week. So last week, yes, I can talk about NASDAQ, no problem. So last week we had a long signal, or rather two weeks ago, was on the 17th, right? So that's on the 17th. We had a long signal of euro around this downward movement, okay, and then that TAD is a system at the time that closed above this resistance here. So our low signal was somewhere around here, and right now it's actually heading higher. Okay. So the only way you can trade this is wait for a retracement lower. Okay. Now, why are we waiting for retracement lower? Because you can see that at this moment here, right, price is forming the temporary higher high. Okay, so this was the low, higher higher low here. So that's the higher low. So higher low, and then this was the higher high thing, higher high, right? So in fact, that what tech did is to give us the whole chunk of support. And as you know, the 4-hour support will be the stronger one. So we are waiting for 1.1283 level for long euro. That means that if you miss earlier move here, then there was re-entry around here. So, but we are still waiting for another one more re-entry here. That means for price right now, as long as it's supported in this area, then we're still continuing to go long in euro. Or if you want, you can just choose pound, right? But since I already explained from euro perspective, I'll be using euro. Apparently, pound is moving very well. So even if it is heading down, when it's heading down, this allows us to get in continue with the long in euro. Okay? And it's good to consider this level here. Okay, it's good to consider this level here because this level was a previous support level. You can see uh, overlapping support level. So this was the support level, and this was the resistance level, and hence this was the support level. So take note of 1.1283 each level. Yes, pound is definitely better. Pound had the same setup. Okay, pound had the same setup, meaning that we are still looking at that down movement, that retracement. So our system had the red line and the orange line. So these are the two levels that tell us that we should and we could be longing on pound. Okay, so that was the famous orange line and the red line. At this moment, right, the only way that we can do is to wait for the retracement, and the predicted level of pound is 1.3483. Same thing, we are continuing to want to long pound, or rather put it this way, want to short on USD. Okay, any question here for those in Zoom and as well as I hope that in my next streaming, the sound quality can be better. So we're trying the few apps here. It seems that this streaming app is not really that good, so I just replace it with another one. Okay, we send you the video. All right, so this is what we're aiming for. All right, I won't be talking about the yen pairs because yen pairs, in my opinion, had moved already. It's probably going to consolidate again. So if I see any opportunity, I'll just update you on the yen pairs. All right. Okay. You guys want to talk about NASDAQ and want to talk about HSI. All right. Since we're here, let me just talk about HSI here. Okay. Now this is HSI. This evening after market close, if I'm not wrong, we're gonna have Xiaomi reporting. Xiaomi had similar, as in chart pattern with the HSI. Okay, so just remember the HSI is forming this pattern here, like this, which is a channel. Let me just draw that for you, which is something that looks like this, which is a channel here. Okay, so this is what HSI is doing. This is a Hang Seng cash offered by ECAP. I'm not using the main index, but they look the same. All right, okay. And what is most important, I think the market is really waiting, right? Waiting for probably Xiaomi earnings. Why is that so? Because we saw that yesterday. Let me just quickly go to the Hong Kong market. We're doing a little bit of a Hong Kong market because I also cover the Hong Kong stocks as well. So what happened right yesterday was that BYD triggered a huge drop because BYD slash price. Okay, so that triggered a huge drop across the automotive industry, right, in China. And today we are pending Xiaomi earnings. Okay, so this is Xiaomi right now today pending the earnings. And if I were to draw this equidistance channel here, you know that it is being currently supported. $50 for Xiaomi. It's very important. Now, hence, I wouldn't say that this is going to affect the HSI, but HSI also look the same as Xiaomi. In fact, that I raised up one very important levels for the Hang Seng Tech and a very important pattern for the Hang Seng Tech, right? And what is that? Take a look at the line chart here. So this seems to resemble a little bit of a head and shoulder pattern. This is Hang Seng Tech. Okay? It's scary because I mean, after I've showed you this pattern here, so this one is a resistant level. Okay, where is this resistance level coming from? Take a look at the previous high here. Okay, so this was the previous high. So this was a support level. So that is a like a key level that the market is looking at, right? So the previous high, a support level, a key market that the market is looking at, right? And hence, when price move again back into this region here, it had a bit of a reaction. And that was in my video I mentioned. If the China stimulus is that good, it should break out. Like the fact that you have been hovering here for so long already. Okay? Right. But don't worry. Even though we are seeing a little bit of a head and shoulder here, the neckline hasn't been broken. Okay, which the neckline is somewhere around here. Okay, the neckline is somewhere around here, right? Okay, so at the neckline here, there is a doji. Can I ask, what is the meaning of a doji? Yes, the market is not decided, right? The market is now just still considering now, which in other words, right, this level here, which is this current level, is viewed as a very important level. So this level is about 5,100. It's a very important level because this was a minor resistance level. It has been broken, and this level is rested here. Price is rested here, right? And price will have to make a decision whether they should break down, so hence to form that head and shoulder bearish pattern, or they should stay supported. Okay. So for us, right, I said already, okay, for us, this is still an uptrend. As long as price can stay above 5,100, generally above 1,500, generally the US tech is still going to be bullish. Okay, but we can't be thinking along like this. We can't be say, okay, if it's above 5,100, it's gonna be up, and then we just what we need is we need price to move higher. Okay? So if you can switch that to tech, all right, which tech is the main instrument that we are using. Okay, because tech gives us mathematically what is the trend, right? It tells us that okay, the trend is right now down or up, but in order to maintain that trend or break the trend, it must close above or close below certain level. All right. Just remember, if you're not our student, I mean, just to help you, if you take a look at this, RES means resistance. This comes from 1 hour. This support means a 1 hour support, which means that tech is detecting, right? There is a support zone around here. But in order for price to move higher, okay, in order for price to continue to move higher, there is a need for price to close above which level here, which is the famous orange line, 5,312. So this is the price level that price must close above, 5,312. Okay. Otherwise, we can't say that HSI reversed to move up. Okay. It can continue to go flat like this until one fine day it decided to move back up. Okay. So I've basically not doing anything with the HSI. In fact, that you know that I had some position. I closed out of my position when price was here. Okay. And then when price moves down, I actually entered. So we talk about Straits Times Index. We talk about buying the ETF. We talk about buying some of the Hong Kong stocks. And then I said already, when it's back up here, I have not exited the trades that I bought here. Okay, but partly because there is no sign for exit. Right? But 5,100 level, which is the green line here, it's actually very important. It marks that head and shoulder pattern, and as well as it tells us those people who were bullish here, they bought in. If it's gonna close back down, then what is this pattern here, guys? Anybody can tell me? If there are some people who bought in here, and then if price cannot stay above the green line and then it close back down, what is this pattern? And can know? Oh, it just showed best wash rates. Because if you go into the higher time frame, if you go to the higher time frame, all right, then take a look at this bar here. Price had a close above the previous high. So 1 and 0, price had a close above the previous high. And then if it close back down, this is going to be your weekly wash and rinse. It means that those people who bought here for the past 4 weeks or past 5 weeks, if it close back down, are they going to be happy or are they going to be sad? If it close back down, they are going to be sad, right? Because then it means that whatever that they bought, right, is right now not making money. And this is on the context that we have a known resistance here and a known support here. Okay. So that's why I mean 5,100 it's very important. All right. Okay. Okay. So going so I talk about HS tag and I talk about Hang Seng. I'm just gonna go back into the price feed of ACAP to because we are trading in Hong Kong 50. Okay. So if you take a look at the price feed, right? So the HSI in a slightly better state than Hang Seng Tech. But even if Hang Seng Tech is to move down, my suspicion is that HSI will also follow suit. Okay, so HSI might be looking like a double top here. Or if you want to draw the other way, draw if it's channel like this, or whatever it is, this line here, that means the support level at this level, which is around the range of 23,000, it's going to be very important because we are seeing this as a temporary uptrend. Okay, all right. So this is an uptrend here because you see the marking here, higher high, higher high, higher low, and right now this is a like looking like a double top pattern. Okay. So I don't want to predict that the trend is going to get down because there's no sign. I just want to let you know what are the most important level here. Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay. No question. All right. Let's continue then. You have questions on gold. Yes. Gold. Finally, did I say? And what did I say about gold? I said that gold. So we long gold, right? So let me just know who long gold here, who long gold here, because we talk about gold when it was around here. Joel, team, you cannot just say Joel long gold. How about you? Okay, so we had this tag which tell us that if price is above this whole zone, okay, it means that the downtrend is moving up. That means this downtrend will have corrected. So we long gold when price was trade above this level. Okay, so that was our long signal, right? And then when we look at the target profit, okay, what was the key level that I mentioned? Which color line? Which color line was that key resistance level that I say it must reach that? Yes, red. Okay, for those in Zoom, they knew that it was the red line. Okay. So we had that red line long ago drawn to us. Let me just show it to you. Okay, so you see that? So our long signal of gold was here. I'm now in the replay mode, and this was that red color line that we were aiming 3357. So if you long go around here, it's about 3,200, and the 3357 is $150. Okay, $150 in gold. All right. Yes, I will take a look at NASDAQ. It's part of why I wanted to have a look. All right. So if you ask me right now what's happening to gold, And I said that it has already reached that profit target for us. So if you had long on tech, it's time to take it our gradual profit. Okay? I mean, if you want to chill, it's fine because the target reached already. Now, this level here is a very critical level. This level is critical. Now, why is this level critical? It means that if price retrace back down, and then if eventually it can close above it, which the key number is 3357. Okay, then what is the implication? Implication is that this retracement is going to complete, right? Okay. And price has a chance to go to the next rate, which is about 3,664. So this would be what's happening right now. Okay. That means price, which is 3357, have been cleared. That means price trade above that. Then we have the next target, which is that red line there, which is 3664. So this is what tech is giving us. Tech is giving us that trend and also giving us the price level. Okay, so above the red line, it means that this whole massive pattern that we've seen for the past 1 month, I think so, yeah, 1 month. All right, so it would be completed, and we're going to see this level here. Okay? Now, what is most critical is if it's going to come back down, because right now it's seeing a resistance here, right? If it's going to come back down, the whole zone of the line must get supported. Okay, because this blue line will tell us, right, what is the short-term uptrend level. Okay, the short-term uptrend, which is this trend here, would maintain if price is to stay above 3,300. That means that 3,300, if we retrace, it must stay here and it must rebound, all right, and then eventually it breaks above this level. Okay. If it doesn't stay above 3,300, which is the last support level of this uptrend, then we might see further correction, and then hence this is going to be the resistance of gold right now. Okay, so that's why I say that if you had already long, you want to secure your profit here. And you want to see what happens when it goes down to 3,300. Now, if it doesn't hold at 3,300, then we can adopt the other direction, which is go short, and then take a look again here, all right, to see whether there's long opportunity. Okay, or we wait for new lines to be drawn, to be calculated, and then we see what happens. So at this moment, gold is tough for a long, but it's tough for a short because then it hit the profit target and it's just on its way to a support level. It's just gonna watch whether 3,300 can stay support. Okay, any question here? All right, so this is how usually I would guide them. That means that they already have this set of tools, but sometimes they need help or they need like, things to uh, talk about guide, etc. So this is how I do my hands-on. If there's a live trades, we can do it, but because we are a little bit more into the 4 hour and 1 hour trade, right? It means that our entry is towards the 4 hour, 1 hour. So even when I'm running the session here, we might not see the signals. Okay? But the guys would know already the signals and how to enter. So just watch out for 3,300. Okay. All right. Now I just want to talk a little bit more on BTC. Who's still in BTC? By the way, to just recap a little bit, our entry on BTC is here. This was our famous entry. Who's still on BTC? Is Injured still on BTC? Oh yeah, still there. Me too. Okay, me too on BTC. Okay, the reason why I'm still not out on BTC is because of this level here. Okay, this was a all-time high. All right, it's unknown whether price is breaking above all-time high, but one thing I said before, right? If it starts to consolidate near to the all-time high, there is a higher chance that it can break higher, as long as it starts to consolidate and goes flat near to the all-time high. But I'm prepared anytime to take profit because then what if it fails the all-time high? All right. So I just waiting for some sign to get out of my BTC trade. But if let's say it set up a consolidation here, if it set up a buy signal, then I will think that this is a break of the all-time high and it starts to consolidate. It's probably going to just hit higher. Okay. So yes, I'm waiting for re-entry if it's still giving me that signal, right? Um, and you can see from tag, right, that it's drawing the support level. That means that what tag does is that it's nothing but just a series of predicted support level. In fact, that today went back down, that's the support level. In fact, that if you see the 1 hour level here, the orange line it had a little bit of a signal and then but it just fall down, right? But anyway, it's a support level. So look for more extended correction along this support level. Okay, that means that 106.98 is the optimal support level at this moment. Um, as long as it stays above 106.898, it is going to be still a long BTC. Okay. Uh, Probably the pattern is not very nice right now. So maybe towards the end of the week, maybe there could be a nicer pattern for the long BTC. Update, right? I don't want to spend too much time on BTC because it's probably nothing at this moment. Okay, Ethereum, uh, still, yes, Ethereum is still the same. It's gonna consolidate. We had that orange line. I suspect that it's gonna just go like that. So comes back down, and that there is no um uh, pattern to longer, okay, except just only levels. Okay, so we have nothing much longer. In fact, the Ethereum also had the same thing, right? It is above the orange line. So there's a slight bullish signal coming in. You might want to use this to add on. At least you're not adding here, right? You might just want to use this small little one, right, to add on a little bit. But the H4 signal is still not okay. So you just maybe at the lower end, right? H4. All right. So end weeks towards the end weeks. Okay. Okay. Now, Nasdaq. Okay. Let's take a look at Nasdaq here. So we are using 8 cap for Nasdaq in terms of trading view, right? Let me just ask me again the question, or I just talk about it tomorrow when I'm in the airport. Why the tech signal is inside a 4 hour, blah, blah, blah. I understand what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, I talked about that for a um, Nasdaq, or in fact S&P 500. So we take a look at it together. We need to, if you are bearish, you really need to wait for a sign. Okay, unless that it's a short-term price movement. I'm gonna jump to Nasdaq later on. Just gonna take a look at S&P because it's slightly a little bit clearer. Okay, so S&P, right? We have this support level, and then we have this resistance level. So where is that support level? So this is the support level. So this is the resistance level, and then this is a support level, right? Uh, so it is still supported. So this is S&P. Okay, so take a look at Nasdaq. So when it comes to Nasdaq, so it would be a little bit easier because then we have the support level here, and then we have the support level here. It's just fall short a little bit on this resistance level. Okay, so that's why I wanted to show you on S&P 500 and Nasdaq that this level that I'm not in, or the current low that you are seeing, it's actually a very, very important level. Okay, now let's talk about signs of a possible reversal. Now, if you look at here, price was moving lower high. This was a high, and then low, and then lower low, right? And then we have a lower high. Now, what is this one here? Apart from that, our entry was a bunch of price closing above tech, which is above this level here. So this is a low, but is a higher low if you compare to the previous low. Yes. Okay. Now, if you refer to Dow theory, all right, of course, Dow theory is a very old theory, but then it still works because it's still part of the human psychology. When what was said that is that you want to confirm that the downtrend had reversed, you need to break above the previous high after you see a higher low. Okay, all right. Now, this when it closes back above it, this becomes a signal to say that the downtrend had reversed. Of course, with tech, our signal becomes faster. Okay. Now, why am I talking about this? Because I wanted to take a look at this current trend here. We have a low, we have a high, we have a higher low, and we have a higher high. And then this is a higher low, and then this higher high, right? So in order to say that this uptrend it's going to reverse or had reversed, what we need to see is we need to see that price form a new high. That means that we reverse what we've seen earlier in our movement. Reverse that, we need to see a lower high and we need to see that price. That means that from a lower high and price eventually breaks below the support level. Question to all of you. Are we seeing this signal yet? Yes or no? We have not. Okay, not yet. All right. So if not yet, it means that this level here is going to be so important because if it goes up and then comes back down and then breaks below, then it's going to show sign of a reversal of this whole pattern. Okay. Right. Okay. So the key level that I'm looking at for NASDAQ is 20,600. Okay. 20,600. All right. But the reason why I want to bring up this level here is because sometimes the market gets a little bit nasty, and and then the typical formation that we know is not going to work because everybody sees the same thing, right? So when everybody sees the same thing, they make it they either trick you or make it more difficult for it to come true. In this case here, I'm thinking that perhaps this is the key level here. Okay, later we measure the key level for you, and NASDAQ it might be also be this level here. So we have NVIDIA reporting. So that's why the market is not moving yet. Okay, we have NVIDIA reporting. We have um, uh, uh, how to say, Trump commenting on Apple, and Apple is not looking well. All this is gonna affect and probably the market is waiting for certain levels to break, right? And that's where all the machines will join either into the buying or into the selling, depending on which levels it's broken, and that's it's gonna cause it to move. At this moment, everybody is staying put here, right? Because nobody wants to be the first and rush in to do things. Okay, so that's the key reason why probably we see a movement at this moment. Later, we can take a look at the low time frame, interpret and then what you could do. Okay, so for S&P 500, it's the same thing. If it goes up, all right, key level here, and it goes like from the lower high and then breaks below, then S&P 500 will break below this level. At the same time, will break below its own level to reverse this. So we probably will have to wait. Okay, have to wait, and we will have to wait for opportunity to come. All right. So same thing as how we waited for BTC, I will update you. How we waited for gold, I'll update you, and how we waited for the indexes, I'll update you. Okay? I mean, provided you are in our community. All right. Okay, and then it's time to join our community because then later I'll talk about cashback. The reason why I'm pushing the cashback is because that for 8 cap is coming to an end at the end of the month, and then for XE we have only one more month left. Okay. All right. Where am I? Okay. So a lower time frame. I mean, we go into the H4, we go into the 1 hour, and then we look at what is happening. All right. Now, so this is the 4 hour time frame. I think that previously we were talking about a chunk of support level here. So let me just show you. Yeah, so previously, you see, we had a chunk of this is a rollback replay already. So we had a chunk of the support level here, right? And then we were talking about there is a need to break below all this blue color support level, right? Which it did. Okay, it break below all this support level, and then right now, what's up is this 5,850, and then this 5,580. About the same, right? Let me just show you the few things right now. Okay. So we are still into the 550. So this is a support level, right? That if price is below it, okay, because this support level, the green level here, right, denote this uptrend. So if price is below it, right, then we would be looking at a short. Okay. However, however, it doesn't mean that the uptrend will end, right? We have this still 5580 as the ultimate support level for this move. So I'm not that bearish yet. And at the same time, we see that price at this moment above the orange line, above the support level. So if it stays above the orange line, ultimately here, right, and then even if it goes back up, I think that we're gonna have another round of a bullish movement for the index. So let's not be too bearish on the index. Okay. Now you roll back and you take a look at NASDAQ. It's the same. So we thought that NASDAQ will break below the green line. Okay. If there was a short for us, a short term, which I said really, really very short term, because NASDAQ is still above the green line here. Then after that, we bounce back up, cleared the multiple orange level, and then the fact is that it is right now above the green line, above the orange levels, above whatever resistance. So we cannot be too bearish on NASDAQ or S&P 500. Okay. At least that the common sign of a bearishness is not here yet. All right. We have to wait for NVIDIA earnings to review to us, but at this moment, it is still not bearish yet. Okay. So let me just look at this question. So I think the S&P 500 might move down instead of moving back and break the all-time high. I think that I answered the question already. There was a bearish sign, but the market reverse, and then all the current price right now, it's above the set of resistance level. It means that I'm not that bearish actually. Okay, Ken. All right. Okay, very good. Now I will just um cover one more stocks here, and the rest of the stocks I'll cover at 9:30 later on, right? So we do have another one more session 9:30 for my students where we look at the night market. So this is just like to take a look at the current market for them right now and for them to ask questions. As I said, right, 7 sessions between me and my other trainer. I try to keep the sessions short, about 45 minutes, just for them to ask questions. But then let me just talk a bit about Tesla. Okay, so this is Tesla right now here, right? Now, Tesla, where was our entry? Or rather, where was the entry? So let me just make my stand on Tesla, and then you can trade Tesla CFDs in ACAP as well. So earlier, my view on Tesla was it was bearish because it was below the orange line. And then when it closed above, my view of Tesla was bullish already because technically it's above the resistance level. So this was when I turned bullish, right? Now, if you take a look at Tesla right now, what is the current trend? Based on this one, I'm not even talking about the previous price movement. Based on this one, what is the current trend? As you know, I like to use colors, okay? Because colors really help a lot uh, to visualize and then to understand a lot of things. Okay. So this is the current trend because price is showing a high and then a high. Okay, and then a low, and then right now this is a low, this is a higher low, and then this is still a higher low. Okay. Now, if I were to flip that into a 4-hour. I don't really use for US stocks, right? And I just wanted to take a look at tech and especially even the 1-hour tech here. Okay, just go to the 4-hour tech here. What are you seeing? Is it supported or is it resisted? It is supported. Very clearly, it is supported here. Okay. So when it is supported, um, the whole idea here is that we need price to say support and then to close back up. So the current resistance level is predicted as 353. Okay, the current support level is here 330. That means that as long as Tesla can trade above 330, then we should be still looking at Tesla moving higher. But if Tesla can break above 353, then we should see it go even higher, even towards the $400 level to sort of reclaim the new high, or at least into this level here, 400 level, right? My own previous prediction was this level, about 360 to 370. Okay, and I should probably end my Tesla trade when it's near here. Okay, just as a safety precaution. All right. Now, uh, if you want to do a short-term movement on Tesla, then this will be the support level. And just have to watch the 1-hour trade, 15 minutes, right, along the support level for Tesla at least 353. If it's break 353, then it's probably going to be here. Okay, so this is how I plan for my trade in the stock using the same thing. All right. Okay, now any other questions? I know that can we look to long NASDAQ? Um, as I said, the NASDAQ signal hasn't come yet for us. Let me just go for NASDAQ again. The NASDAQ signal hasn't come for us, but um, I mean, it is it is a uh, it is not at the low price. Okay, that means it is not at the low price to long NASDAQ. Okay, but there is no reason to drop. So I think that for NASDAQ, right, because it has already gone above zone of line, which is essentially how we go long. All right, then it has already a signal which is long. That means that, yes, I would think that we can look to long NASDAQ, but just note that um, it is not the most. We are not at that optimal level. So an optimal level for us to long, right, is here. Is first long, right? That's the best one. Okay. If you are looking at this level here, is there a signal that happened? Answer is yes. We had already a bullish signal. All right. Uh, to long. So not the lower level, but it's still a long signal because there's already a close above the orange zone. There might be a possibility again, as I disclaimed, there may be a possibility for price to come down and test this zone. But as far as what tech is concerned, the signal for tech is here already. This is of all resistance zone. Okay, so there's no signal to say that we are bearish or I'm bearish of tech point of view that is bearish on S&P 500 or on NASDAQ.